If there's one thing the likes of Interstellar, Inception, Star Trek, and Star Wars have proved in recent years, it's that Hollywood audiences still have a major throbbing wobble on the science fiction. We might not get the same frequency of releases as horror or fantasy fans seem to, but every now and then the blockbuster calendar is punctuated by something all spacey and brilliant. That's spacey as in, like, about space and stuff, not, not that. Anyway, for as long as humanity continues to gaze up at the night skies or deep within ourselves with hungry fascination, that trend will continue. Real life, I don't mind telling you, is absolutely shit, so I'm all for it. Naturally though, Hollywood absolutely loves a remake, so it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise that there are some very exciting looking sci-fi reboots on the horizon. Which ones? Oh, very well then, Your Majesty, my name is Adam Cleary and these are 10 sci-fi movie remakes coming in 2020 and beyond. Number 10, Green Lantern Corps. While the shape of the rebranded DCEU has changed massively from what it would have looked like had Zack Snyder continued in his role, it makes sense that Warner Brothers still want to reboot Green Lantern. The Ryan Reynolds version was such a disaster that it was deemed fair game for that Deadpool 2 post-credits joke, and yet the characters and the comics lore remain popular enough to warrant another go. Arguably, Marvel's immediate success with Captain Marvel suggests there's an appetite for that sort of movie as well. Warner Brothers need to heed the lessons of the original, clearly, but with suggestions that the film will focus on an older Hal Jordan, as well as his protege Jon Stewart, no not that one, it should be pretty different. Avoiding retelling Jordan's origin is probably also a very smart move. It's set for release in 2020, but it might still be pushed back a bit. Number 9, The Invisible Man. When Tom Cruise's The Mummy was uncharacteristically but deeply ironically devoid of life, it looked like Universal's Dark Universe was deader than... well, it's the same joke, isn't it? We were supposed to get a new Wolfman, a new Frankenstein, a new Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and a new take on The Invisible Man starring Johnny Depp. But as quickly as The Mummy landed with a sad, wet thud, all of them seemed to die. It's the same joke again. But then Blumhouse did what Blumhouse always do and stepped in to rescue the franchise, injecting new life, lol, and bringing in Lee Winnell to direct a wholly different reboot of The Invisible Man. It's not going to star Johnny Depp anymore and there's no official release date, but they do at least apparently have a script. Number 8, The $6 Billion Man. Mark Markuson, Mark Wahlberg, has been trying to get his remake of The $6 Million Man off the ground for some time now. True story. It all looked pretty promising as well in November 2016 when the actor made a presentation of the project at the American film market. At the time, Wahlberg affirmed his commitment to making this over any other superhero movie, no matter what the contract offer or the character. Since then, though, the tires have hit several punctures, with director Damien Sfozzesen leaving the project in 2018 and Warner Brothers first moving the release date into 2020. Then they removed the release date altogether and gave Wonder Woman 1984 the tentpole position that year. Despite all that though, the project hasn't been cancelled and we should definitely expect Wahlberg's take on the story of Steve Austin, no, not that one, but it is going to require a little bit of patience. Number 7, Akira. Sometimes it feels like there's been a live action Akira remake in the works for as long as I've been alive. And just like my life, while there's not been a great deal of activity for ages now, the cogs are definitely still turning. Recently, Get Out and Us director Jordan Peele was linked to the directing job, with Paramount hoping the Ghost in the Shell adaptation would kick up a little interest. Unfortunately, that didn't go exactly to plan, and Peele never fully committed. Now though, Taika Waititi is the man charged with remaking the seminal anime. And while the last time he spoke about it, he did say he was still trying to get his head around the whole thing, his plan is to adapt the original manga rather than the anime and avoid doing a Scarlett Johansson again. Number 6, Starship Troopers. Don't let the quality of the Starship Troopers sequels cloud your memory. And if you didn't know about them, then please erase that statement from your mind entirely. There are no sequels. Don't be silly. This is all a dream. Shh, shush, back to sleep. Shh. Anyway, Starship Troopers was brilliant. It is transgressive. It is entertaining. It is hugely clever. It meshes real guts and glory sci-fi with an affectionate pastiche. That's why a remake has been in the works for so long, even if it is hugely unnecessary, IMHO. It had all gone pretty quiet, but the recent announcement of a TV show that could reunite the original cast for a continuation also confirmed that there is still indeed a remake coming. The reboot would return to the original book source material and reimagine Johnny Rico's story. If you've not read the book, and I actually have for once, it's a lot more political and a lot less clever. Plus, there's this third alien race in it called the Skinnies, so there is absolutely loads to play with there. Number 5, Fantastic Voyage. Now yes, the list of projects that Guillermo del Toro has almost made is longer than Orlando Bloom's Walloper, but some of them will eventually make it to film. One of the most promising is Fantastic Voyage, the film del Toro seemed to be set on making after winning big at the Oscars with The Shape of Water. It was put on ice though, as the director announced his intention to take a year-long hiatus from filmmaking. The film would remake the 1966 groundbreaking original, and it's intriguing in particular for the invitation for del Toro to explore the environments within a human body. You know, as the tiny little ship zips around inside a scientist. That's the plot. We know the script is complete already thanks to del Toro, so as long as the stars align, it might not be too far off into the future. Number 4, The Black Hole. Screenwriter and director Emily Carmichael has been hired to tackle Disney's new reboot of The Black Hole. Not so long ago, she spoke to Coming Soon about the project, and the conversation turned to how the original was very much a product of its time, meshing the serious tone of 2001 with the bombast of Star Wars, and she outlined her vision. That's a fascinating read, and I think you definitely get the two undercurrents at play in that movie. The new one is going to be less brooding at pace. It's a faster movie, but still has some of the big idea science quality, which I think is great. This is another one that's been gestating for a fair old time, since 2009 in fact, but Disney deemed the script too dark and it was all put on hold. Now that Emily Carmichael is involved, it's clearly moving again. For the uninitiated, the original space opera is far more a cult classic than the films it sought to emulate, but it's a story of a mysterious, long-lost ship found mostly abandoned on the edge of a black hole. Basically, it is a great idea that deserves a much better film than it originally got, so yes, make this one, please. Number 3, Flash Gordon. Yeah, Gordon's alive, who knew? A remake has been talked about since 2015, and Matthew Vaughn was heavily linked with the director's job, but it all went a little quiet for a while. That was until October 2018, when Overlord director Julius Avery was reportedly hired to both write and direct a new take. The 1980 original is a cult icon of the decade, but it would be fair to say that it doesn't really hold up these days. I mean, what is that? It's kitsch, it's fun, but it'll be 40 years old by the time the reboot comes out, so it's high time we got a new look at it. The issue of recasting Sam J. Jones as the titular hero will be the first big step, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a better candidate than John Cena. Yes, I'm doing it. We have a wrestling channel. I'm saying John Cena. Cast John Cena. As long as they nail the tone and don't go too serious or equally too camp, it should be one to watch out for, particularly in the wake of Shazam reigniting interest in the sillier superhero films. Number 2, Escape from New York. It feels like a goddamn cow's age since Robert Rodriguez was first linked to directing the remake of Escape from New York. And while he's no longer attached, sadly, the project has begun to kick into gear. The original has developed an almost untouchable status as a low-key cultural fountain of banter thanks to the Metal Gear Solid games. Yeah, Snake Plissken, rescuing the president, the eye patch, all of it is a loving ode to this. Recently, Lee Whannell has been reported as the new screenwriter charged with delivering a new take on the story of Snake and his 24-hour quest to save the president from murderous prisoners in New York's dystopian prison city. The door is apparently open for Whannell to direct as well, and the suggestion is that he will retain elements of the original while bringing in some new ideas. John Carpenter will return as executive producer, but Kurt Russell probably won't be involved, since, you know, he's publicly decried this project's lack of respect for the sanctity of the original, and he's 68. Number 1, Dune. Having already breathed breathtakingly beautiful life into one classic sci-fi property with Blade Runner 2049, Denis Villeneuve is currently remaking classic sci-fi Dune. You probably already know that though, because either you or someone close to you will have already been cast in it. Timothée Chalamet will lead, and he's joined by my IRL close personal friend Dave Bautista, as well as Rebecca Ferguson, Zendaya, Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac, Javier Bardem, Stellan Skarsgård, Charlotte Rampling, Jason Momoa, and as yet unnamed Olsen twins, several of the cast from The Animals of Farthing Wood, and literally, yes, me. Honestly, has there ever been a more exciting cast assembled anywhere in cinema? What? Oh, the Avengers. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, never mind. It's likely to be stunning to look at, and when combining that with Villeneuve's approach to characters, it's going to be very, very exciting. And so long as he cuts the right balance between surface beauty and substance, which admittedly some less enthusiastic viewers of Blade Runner 2049 accused him of missing, this should be something truly great. So there you have it, those are 10 sci-fi movie remakes coming in 2020 and beyond. Yes, let us know what you made of it in the comments below, and of course don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I have, of course, been the unremakeable, the unrebootable, the unredeemable Adam Cleary, and I'll see you soon.